Hello. Yeah, it's Alex here from Blue Lightning Software. I just wanted to today do a bit of something different. This is from Questmaster's Realm. What it's doing is I just want to show some code. Kind of the stuff I do a lot is in code is refactoring. So this will be an example of refactoring, which in C#. This is all C#. What I want to do is replace this call to here with a delegate. Obviously, I also think I don't use it often actually. So what we're going to do is just make sure we got this open. All right, it looks pretty simple, yeah. So I mean, often, right, if it was more complex than that, I'll be copying it straight out of Microsoft. But it's not going to be like that. It's going to be we're going to be replacing what we have here with a delegate. Cut and paste, man. You're going to see that if I do any more of these. This is kind of experimental. I just want to see what it looks like to encode and stuff. And then I think I can have, I think I need this public outside of the thing for how I was going to do it, possibly. I think we need it here. So we're inside a namespace. Ignore all this. In the secrets, what goes on? So we got our delegate declared, and we got a repeat strike. And that's going to work just like that. In fact, I could have got away with it. I could have wrapped it up, couldn't I? I could have had this. I could have had that call this. This is how you call the delegate. That'll work, right? I mean, in that instance, if that's how I'm going to use it, can you see it's contained now? So this isn't that much of a beginner's class, but you know, I'm just showing some ideas in C# applied to applied to Unity. So what's up with this? It cannot be called itself. So that is the. So I've declared it like this. What did you come out with? Is something like that. Okay, I'm not 100% at work. I should read the book a bit more, but then it's all contained. It's all private to the class that we're within. This is an aneme state machine. It kind of handles animations and stuff. Now let's have a look at what we've got now. So we've got this, yeah. So we're kind of replacing this with this, and then we can use this. I'll rename this. I'll break all this if I change this to that. Okay, so it's the capital letter. Now the call to what was repeat step is now replaced with this. So we've kind of we've, what's the word, literally just replaced this with this, but this is now using our delegate instance here. We may want to make this public. It depends how this works later on. If I just want to pass these in from something else that I can see myself doing, then obviously I think I think it'll be a lot safer to make this a public delegate outside of the class. In fact, if I was just doing this, I'll probably do this anyway, and I'll come back to it. Okay, it's just so that now I have the option this can be used elsewhere, i.e. I don't have to declare things in here like this one. This is the old one. Does that now let me call that up? Very interesting, because it's not declared it inside the function. Yeah, it now lets me go back to this syntax. I am allowed to call it repeat strike because it's not been declared as the delegate repeat strike. Okay, it took the variable name in this instance. Is how it looks. So now we have a repeat strike here outside in the namespace. Outside this object. What we can then do later on is pass anything to this. Like we can have a this is what I'm doing them in Unity quite a bit now. If this was public, all right, I would give it a capital name at least. This name is looking wrong. If I was going totally public, I'm just really anal about this, if that makes sense. Here we go. And that has to be like this. Okay. And then the get set, private set. It's just because this is a mono behavior, I'm really kind of strict on myself doing these kind of things. What's up? It doesn't recognize that name now. What's up with that? Oh god, because I've already got something called that. So this is gonna have to look stupid. Maybe I'll give them like because it's a delegate, I'll give it an underslash. Alright, because there's already a repeat strike declared as that. There is an object called a repeat strike. That is this thing, and a different object, type of object. So now this is the delegate declared like this. It still doesn't like it. No, it does. That's it. Okay, that's just some formality of you know, the kind of the way I'm declaring variables is public ones are the class name, capital letters like this, and just the same as the class name, or the delegate name in this, treating the delegate as the class. So without getting too lost, that may just to muddle things up, it is now public. We can change this private set, so we would have public set repeat strike. Whoops. And then we can just pass in a repeat strike. You start picking up my notation here, it's a bit weird. And then we would do like this. So now we have, is that going to compile? What's wrong with that? Jesus, public void. It doesn't know it's a function. Can't work. Yeah, there we go. So that's just some boiler stuff concerning repeat strike. So now we replace this original repeat strike, this stuff here, with a delegate that we can set from anywhere because it's now the public delegate. Repeat strike here. Okay. So now anywhere that has a reference to this name state machine can set that delegate, so that when what was this is called, it will now call that delegate, whatever it is set here. I would like this to be the delegate, actually, in some cases, but the whole point of it is that these don't have to be public anymore. I don't think, because the way I set them. Alright. in, you can see I'm doing a stream, I start hitting square brackets for some reason. Alright, so this will be one variation, because what I'm refactoring here, if you look, you've got an if else, so it's got a thing, if is melee. We can actually remove this to just I step. I mean, it's a bit of a pain, but if we understood what this was doing better, see, that's the only parameter it actually needs. So we got this would now just be this, and I would have to amend the one call to this to actually just use this one parameter I step, because all that was doing was splitting the two types of this function, which can now become just this. That's basically if melee, repeat, strike, melee. Okay, could be one variation, and this would be the other. Actually, weirdly, because that was not melee. Dang. Let's call this front strike. Because kind of what it's doing is going straight to front angle strike, which is here. Now, the reason these are declared inside this object is because they mention all the stuff to do with a repeat strike object, which is assigned somewhere in this object. So they remain within there. But now we're left with what the other choice at this time was this. So we've removed the choice and we've made it just do what it was doing. And this is another refactoring, not of a delegate. This is just something I noticed when I was looking at it. This is totally messed up. This used to make sense. It was because these numbers used to be much more the same. Look, if we look now, it's a bit, don't spend ages. This would make sense if you look through it. The use of -1 and -1 happens with case 4 and 6. Okay, because of that, it was in a case statement. It doesn't look massive, and then that number, and this is where we went wrong. It was totally different before. That there was a lot more of these the same, and then they were calculated through into here. So I was just looking at it. We're just going to refactor. I'm going to look back at this and say, wow, you don't explain anything. So what we want to come out with is this. Okay, the cap forward vector, transform forward, or it's set by one of these states. Now if I line these up, so it's forward at the moment. Is that what it was? Yeah, no, this makes sense. So we've got I guess there's different ways of doing it. Why am I even adding it, kind of thing? Because a lot of them are adding. These would be different. So what I'm saying is that in case 0.5, which is this case, this is where it's getting weird, because I should have just explained the delegate and be done. But here's some interesting refactoring with reference to Unity. What was that? That was, so if it was -5, because it is doing some other stuff in some of these. In the cases, it's doing some other stuff. That's why the case, because it does like a couple of things. But that was the other -1, was it? No, that was -0.5. That was 0.5. I might be insane doing this at the same time. -0.5. So this is equals transform right. That makes sense when you look at what's going on. 1f equals transform right. Yeah. Yeah, I might have been bad. This is why it was so bad for so long. I wanted to go back and do this. That's that one. It is quicker than adding them, definitely. So we're taking the transforms and adding them together. What was this one? -1. I'd have to come back to this, be completely broken now. Minus transform, right? Minus equals. No, just equals minus transform, right? That's -1f, this one. Hopefully you're familiar with switch and case. I'd find myself using these a lot. It's because there's two things here as well. So it's just going through these steps, and in this particular version, the repeat strike melee, it chooses which direction it's going based on the I step, which is like a time step that it's going through. So you've got -1f here equals, yeah, I kind of see what it was, because that would be the same as 4 and 6 are the same except for this. I mean, the way that works, I mean, again, there are a few things. It's because of the parameter passed in as well. You need a case for it. Do you see what I mean? Just these sword swipes, and we're setting the transforms. Would you do it as 2 steps? One thing sets the cap forward, and the other thing sets the sword swipes. I've done it all as one, which is one example of a case statement being used. This doesn't make sense to me. Given where we are, -1.5, I think this doesn't do what I... Oh yeah, it does. Equals. It's not minus equals. Only these first two, because it was forward. So I set it forward. Rather than set it to vector 3, 0 or whatever, that's the default, isn't it? Rather than just do that, which means you got vector 3, 0. Oh no, it doesn't like it, because now it's saying it can't unassign, so it's not defaulting to it. If you set it as vector 3, 0, then these would make it right plus equals, these two plus equals and minus equals. But it's a little bit more involved than, actually, I mean, finding transform forward could be a bit more involved than the minus equals and plus equals. You might do well, because then it has to find transform forward. So you might do better whilst we're here. Although I think there's a default case. Was it 0, 1, 2? 2 would be... which we kind of avoided in essence. If you put a case, switch case together, here's how one way to do it. Well, this is probably the only way to do cases, but here's an example of someone doing that. So this would be equals transform forward. I think sometimes there's like instances that will save you time writing it, and some that will run better in the code. So what this would be is actually, that's saying minus, right? This one, minus equals transform right would be plus transform forward. And then this would be the same as that. Makes sense. Okay, so there's just this one to replace now. Case 9 looks like another default. because it doesn't set anything. I think it was assuming forward. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and they've all got to transform. So this one we've got to do, it's 1.5. Okay. Now that's no longer needed. That's all done in there. So that's no longer needed. So kind of we've refactored down to just this. Alright, usually if it was me, right, until this compiled, and then at the end of it, it just uses that cap forward for a melee strike. If this is me, I'd leave these comments in for it, not forever, but just till I've compiled it and run tests. Just so I could rewind quicker than going back to the stored files. Obviously I've got backups of all these. It no longer needs it as melee. So what we've now got are a couple of things that we could use here. It won't do this because it's stupid to, but now we could set the delegate to this one. Yeah, or we could set the delegate to this one, and we could do that using yeah, it'd be totally stupid. Or no, you know, that's just an example of what we'd actually have to do. Is it would be void f, you know, it would be this going on something for whatever reason, you know, if just to show that it compiles. Yep. So hopefully somewhere we set this repeat strike, which is then what was repeat strike step. We gotta, that'll be the call to that somewhere. It's here actually. No longer has that. Okay, that's how that's working. So we've completely refactored. Hopefully it will work. I'll compile this. I don't want to bore you with the 2 hours of trying to hash through a compile, and I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll compile, and we'll test it out and hopefully it'll do exactly as it did before. But it's been refactored so that we split what was this thing where is melee splitting two functions. And the reason being is that this is kind of like a timed attack thing that can do anything really based on a time step, which I want to use for AoE things. So obviously you can add repeat strike, crazy AoE 1, etc., you know, and 2, whatever, you know, you can do tons of different things, or with just delegates that do all kinds of different things that could be, and they don't even have to be defined in this object, they could be defined elsewhere. Because it's a public delegate now, we can define it elsewhere and pass it in through set repeat strike here, and it should just work. Yep. Okay, great, thanks for watching. I'll just try it out, see how it looks, a bit of code development anyway. All right, let's save that. See ya.